Building on my previous essay, I wish to describe more dynamics and phenomenons to play out, the awareness of which will help the person grow. As one overcomes their inner darkness, as mentioned before, it makes more room for the light. When a person begins a new destructive habit, it might actually leave you alone for a little while, so that you think it is not that much of a problematic activity. Remember, it is also the energy of cleverness. But when you are weak, when you need your mental and emotional faculties the most, for instance, this new chaos energy that you have bred from your new bad diet or smoking will now attack. So maybe your boss is considering firing you over a work matter, but you have been wrongly accused, and also at home a dramatic situation is unfolding, and just out of nowhere you freeze up and it's like all the chaos you have been letting in decides to strike. This also happens when you have a possibility to grow, by going to that new job interview or going on a date, for example. It will strike then, when there is good growth potential. The same also happens when people are towards the tail ends of their addictions, and they seem to get better towards the end, but the chaos energy offers up a final trick until it consumes them entirely. So if you see someone in your surroundings doing the wrong thing, and maybe it even seems like they are getting away with it, or maybe it is even serving them for now. Maybe your boss is doing some unwholesome stuff and it earned him a new Porsche. Realize that this is just a ploy and the table is being set for him to fall later. This is also what happens when people negotiate with their morals and ethics. The other side wants to see how much you will bend. You can also observe this phenomenon with artists who are getting too big and doing a lot of good at a certain point, and just out of nowhere, they pick up a new drug habit and it takes them out. The dark energy is clever. It preys on the person's weaknesses. It may alienate people from you for a while if it senses that in doing so it will get you to act even more immorally. So if loneliness may lead you down a darker path, it will try that. Because most people are unaware of their energies and that they probably carry their own chaos, they will just be good puppets for it. As you progress, don't expect support from the people in your social circles, because they haven't been conquering their darkness to the same extent. So instead of offering support, their chaos will actually now try to weaken your growth. It is a tale as old as time. What you must do is stay on the path. Keep growing, and eventually their chaos energies will leave and the person will accept this new positive growth in you. As you evolve, it is also important to keep in mind that precept from the Bhagavad Gita, which suggests that we are entitled to the action, not to the fruit of the action. This means that simply telling someone about spiritual growth and that they have darkness within, which is giving them fake emotions and is manipulating them, may not be enough to get them to grow. This is because we live quite simply in a world where a lot of things are outside our control, and it is actually better. If it wasn't the case, then this would be a game of control. If we were entitled to the fruit of the action, with enough mere effort and control, we could get anything, and this would be breeding grounds for the energies of contraction and constriction, rather than a letting go and faith and trust energy, which comes with the natural trust in the Creator and the world, as well as a connection to flow states. I have often found that I paint the most well when I am in a flow state and not engaging in conscious control. Conscious control is fine, and it gets the ball rolling, but at a certain point you learn to let the moment paint and energy to flow. It is important to be mindful of the positive potential and the negative potential in a situation. This is true with your work prospects, dating prospects, friend choices, dietary choices, hobbies, interests, so on and so forth. If it takes more than it gives, do not give it entry. What is dating chemistry? I would argue it is a deep understanding that if you two dated, it would help you grow and evolve spiritually. As one gets more in tune with energies and is able to discern better as one evolves towards their enlightenment, they can just become good judges of situations, just based by energy alone, and it becomes clear to you how to structure your day, or who to date, or what to do at work. Become aware of the energies people have been cultivating. You can just feel it off them. It is also important to mention that negativity will breed unconsciousness and will lead one to the sunken place, but it is not necessarily that when a person is unconscious, they already don't have proactive choice. A person might not know all the details into why they opt for destructive things, but it doesn't mean that their proactive choice faculty has been switched off yet. This is useful to keep in mind when you begin to justify people's destructive habits because of the chaos energy both within and without. While it is still true that the person has been duped by it, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are already doing it deeply unconsciously. Your significant other may like the hit of negativity and the drama, and it doesn't mean that her reasoning faculties have been hijacked by the chaos energy, and she is on a vacation or whatever. She may be on the way towards going to a mental vacation, but in this moment she may still be doing it consciously. This is useful to keep in mind when examining people's motives. It could be the case that they simply haven't learned that being mean is bad and they like the hit of negativity and the feelings that come with it. Just like smoking, negative conversational styles feel good to the person because the destructive energies puke into their brain and bodies these chemicals which make the person convinced that it is a worthwhile activity. Other elements that keep the door open for chaos energy is the phenomenon of mental drifting, rightly observed by Napoleon Hill in Outwitting the Devil, as well as an invasion of responsibility, a lack of personal accountability, and a lack of understanding of their role in society, as well as a failure to see that they have to generate good and overcome the negative. Mental drifting encouraged by a society that conditions our attention and focus in such a way as to have it be scattered rather than sustained, keeps us indefinite and unfocused, and not moving in a clear and straight line. Our intentions become scattered. A diversion in intention is likewise observed when we try to do the things that will get us to grow. We may freeze when performing because the chaos energy in us wants us stuck. It is also important to realize that another domain we need to be aware of is our mind and the thoughts that enter it. As echoed by yogis and spiritual gurus, it is important to understand the nature of thoughts and not to attach one's own sense of self to them. This is what meditation can provide. A thought is then just a thought. When a negative one enters, you can tiptoe around it. As I mentioned in my other essay, To Whom It May Concern, my personal approach when a negative thought enters my mind field is to simply do one small good thing, like just give a little good energy, and that will remove the negativity which once wanted to give it attention, so that it may get a constriction going. So for instance, you are having a conversation with a coworker and it is really going well, and all of a sudden you have a thought that is troubling and you aren't sure what to do because the vibes might be a little off. Simply become aware of the energy and choose to give off a good energy in that moment, and that will clear your mind past delusion. I also like to think the words light or good, and it will clear the way. Sometimes the dark energies in people will act as energy blocks. You might feel numb and to not resonate with helpful things and activities and advice. It's like there is a wall preventing the person from seeing the right of way. The energy of presence can dissolve this numbness, but the person needs to become aware of it, and that isn't so apparent to people sometimes. Give the person the right words and work on releasing your own numbness and negative energies, and remember that the situation, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, is not entirely in your control. This is also why people may not react favorably when you do the right thing. They don't resonate with it yet. Simply remind yourself that even though on the surface it may seem like what happened wasn't good, on a deeper level it was. Another tactic the chaos energy may try is one of diversion. If it senses that the conversation is moving towards more good, it will just suggest to the person to say something random. The person may be trying to defend themselves from the unpleasant emotions, but by offering the diversion, and if you take it, the good won't be as realized. Don't offer a resolution if it is not correct and good, because emotional build-up may suggest that it is best not to discuss it. Just be aware when someone says something confusing or not related to what you were discussing.